All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hi, everybody. Is that camera even remotely focused in the right direction? It feels like it's very off. Like I got jostled a little bit, and it's very close to me. Yeah, that doesn't feel right. Let's adjust this. I don't know why, but it feels off. Welcome to Fidgeting with My Camera with Foggy. Okay, so for some reason the camera just feels like it's looking in the wrong direction, but I'm looking down here and it seems like it's right. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Hoping everyone is having a good week. We are going to be tackling another listener, and we're going to hopefully break the really bad streak that I'm on of not entirely liking the listener. I think it was a little bit more positive about last week's than the previous two. So we've been steadily getting more and more appreciative of the listener work. But yeah, I'm still looking for a really good one. And this one promises to be good. It's got some sort of graphical element, which we'll get to at the end. As always, I'm going to start off by reading the preamble. And then I'll start, in this case, with the linked. I think I'm going to start with the across clues, down clues, and then the linked clues. And I'm just going to ask, if you think that you know the answer to a clue, just type G in the chat, and I'll decide if I want to ask for hints. If you are looking ahead and you say, oh, I know the answer to 39 down, you are definitely looking at the wrong puzzle because the downs and crosses only go up to 19 and 15 and 19. But just try not to look ahead and wait till I actually read the clue before jumping in. If you think that you might know the theme, just type G theme. I'm not going to ask for any hints on that. And I just ask that people try to be a little reticent about any sort of hinting, any sort of sly hinting as to what the theme might be. Generally speaking, I don't think about the theme until we've gotten a fair amount of clues done. And I just want to try to figure it out for myself, as it were. Anyway, all that having been said, we have listener 4718 linked by Vismut. Each linked clue is the union of two clues, not overlapping, whose answers must be entered where they fit. In each pair, the two answers are linked, and the link is omitted from their wordplay. In clue order, the links spell out a thematic name. The numbered clues are linked in a similar way. After filling the grid, solvers must draw three linked closed curves through 30 cells, tracing a memorable action, the participants, and the location. So we got kind of a neat thing. So the link for each of these, just to recap, each of these link clues have a missing link from their wordplay, and I'm automatically thinking what that might be. And then the cross clues and down clues are linked in some manner, so this should be interesting. The wording, because of the unusual nature of this crossword, the way that the numbers work for the grid themselves is that if it's in brackets, that's just telling me the length, and if it's not in brackets, that's the clue number. So, for example, this one here is a 13-letter entry, and it corresponds with one down. But this 13-letter entry is not clued, not numbered, it is clued, and is going to be part of this linked clue over here. With that having been said, let's go ahead and get started. 6 across, which is going to be right up here. Edible fish and rook are eaten by bird, now lost. All right, edible fish and rook. So, I mean, a couple different things could be going on here. It's a lot of wordplay for a 6-letter word. I kind of want edible fish to be... I think because of the and there and how sparse they are with extraneous wordplay, I feel like the edible fish and the R for rook have to be eaten by the bird, which means that we're looking for a 3-letter bird and 2-letter fish, or 3-letter fish and 2-letter bird. Now, lost means that we're probably looking for some archaic word for now, and that is what we're looking for. If it's going to be R for rook, what are some 3-letter birds? I mean, it's not going to be owl, which is the first thing I'm thinking of. I kind of like the idea that it might be hen, like here on or something like that. Rook eaten by bird would give us here on, but that's definitely not going to be it, because it just ignores a completely large portion of the clue. Let's see. Good morning, Evan Badger. So edible fish. I mean, I think there's AI as a fish. Where's my phone? Can't find my phone. There's a part of me that keeps wanting to put chambers up. I did make some slight changes to the graphics. Let me know if that background works for the instructions. If it doesn't, if the font doesn't work, if it's difficult to read, just let me know. I think AI is AI is a small edible Japanese fish. So I really like the idea that it's going to be AI and R eaten by a 3-letter bird. So, and then we're just going to get this really archaic term for now. So if I look, glary, no, it's not going to be glary. It's not going to be slarg. Slarg is a really great word. I want to use that in the puzzle now, slarg. It's Slairg, and to me that's just an amazing word. It's not going to be fairly, I don't think. It's got a couple, fairly's got a couple archaic definitions and obsolete definitions. And I think in this case we are looking for something that's obsolete as opposed to archaic. All right. All right. Excellent. Good to know that it's readable. And I don't think I actually said good morning. Good morning, Hologro. Good morning, Akila. And again, good morning again, Emin Badger. All right. I think I understand how this clue works. I just can't quite figure it out. Might not be AIR. It might be IDER. I think Ide is another edible fish. Good morning, Arch Davison. Good morning, Alchemist. All right. The winds acting contrarily to expose openings to old Edinburgh. The winds acting contrarily to expose openings to old Edinburgh. So openings to old Edinburgh, that's obviously going to be OE. And I think what we're looking for is a definition of the word wind. Like maybe one of the names of the 7 winds, or name one of the names of the 4 winds, not 7 winds, that's 7 letters long, but and I think like Nodus and I forget what the other is, Zephyrus. What are the names of the 4 winds? And it might not be this at all. I mean, it might be something else altogether. Also, I kind of am like wondering what expose means here, because I feel like expose is just kind of like, I don't know if that necessarily indicates that we're trying to surround Old English. Like that just it just kind of feels a little weird for me. So the 4 winds, just so that we have those: Boreas, Eurus, Nodus, and Zephyrus, and none of those are 7 letters long, so none of those are correct. The wind's acting contrarily. Acting here can be a, by the way. I think it's not. I think it's not just simply a, but acting can be a. It can also be as. But I think I'm more likely to think that what we're looking for is either acting contrarily as its own bit, or we're looking for a word that means acting, and we're reversing it. But the to expose. Maybe what it is that to expose here is to take off the outside letters of whatever acting contrarily is. And then sort of we're splitting the fodder in between expose and opening. So openings to Old English is just OE. That's going to be the end of the word. And it could be that it's referring to a musical instrument, because I kind of like the idea that it's like an oboe of some sort. And then acting contrarily, we're reversing a word that means contrarily, or sorry, we're reversing a word that means acting, but we're taking off the outer letters, therefore exposing it. Which means that we would need a 7-letter word for acting, or, I know I keep bouncing around all these different things, or it's a, then it's a word that means contrarily minus its outer letters, and then OE. I'm just going to quickly try, I'm not going to do a whole lot of looking up here. Arch foe is the only thing that comes up with starting with A, ending with OE. I really would like it to be some sort of oboe. Eufro is not it. Yeah, looking at these, I'm not seeing anything that really suggests that I'm on the right track here. All right, on to the next one. We're doing great here. 2 clues, no answers. Head to the back for rank scraps from country table. All right. Head to the back for rank scraps from country table. So we're taking the first letter of 1. I think it's going to be Orts. So Orts, which is, by the way, I have a good friend who is known as the Earl of Pembroke. It's sort of a joke. His name's Bill. He's actually the person who gave me the name Foggy. He's the first person to nickname me Foggy. Ort was his favorite word. Ort just cracked him up endlessly. He thought that was the funniest word ever. Just Ort. Oh, it means table crumb. It's just like a crumb. And he just thought that was hilarious. But if rank is sort, then head to the back on sort would give us Orts. And that is going to give us our first entry into the grid. And I should probably do these capitalized. All right, let's go ahead and mark this as solved. There we go. All right. Exceptionally clever person almost drops current pin bender. So I think what this is going to be is exceptionally clever person, like genius. But then we're going to drop off the last letter, so geniu. And then we're going to drop off a word that means a letter for current, which I think is the letter I. And if somebody can correct me on that, I don't know if it's C. I think it's I. It's one of those weird ones that has a... But then that would leave us genu, and I'm pretty sure genu isn't a thing. It is a thing. It is a knee-like bend or structure. That's it. It's genu. All right. Thank you for confirming that, Arch. Thank you for confirming that, Sean. Good morning, Sean. Yes, there is also the Ort cloud. Of course, that is a double letter O. One of the few out there. So genu is going to go here. And we have our second clue. Okay. Reducing to 0 yearly. Fish with quota ultimately gone. All right. So I think reducing to 0 is going to be our definition. But then we're going to need nearly yearly and then fish with the letter A taken out of it. I say all that. Like reducing to 0. So I mean, evaporating, but that's way too long of a word. Hologrow's got 12. Vanishing, kind of like vanishing. Um, what is yearly in this case? Yearly is per annum, so maybe it's just PA. It's not shockingly Hologrow. You're a bright guy. Um, Hologrow, am I correct that the definition is reducing to zero? Okay. So yearly, I really want that to be per annum and just be a PA at the start. But that also means that we're looking for a very long fish. We're looking for like an 8 letter fish. Because it's either PA and then the fish minus the letter A, so that's going to be 8 letter fish, or it's P minus the A. We still need an 8 letter fish to finish it off. There's Ling. Actually, Ling I like as a fish because that's a Ling cod. And that would give us the ing that I think this answer is going to end with. Un something, maybe. Annulling. It's annual and Ling minus the A is going to give us annulling. And that is reducing to zero. Is that what you had, Oligro? Awesome. All right. Extract from Badu album put into 2 tracks. This is going to be a social, I think. And by social, I just mean that I'm going to encourage everybody to get this because I think it is gettable by everybody. Just once you have it, type G in the chat. I'm going to enjoy a nice sip of this coffee, which is almost gone. It's down to about here. It's down to whatever the theme entries are here. Hologrow's got it. Aquila's got it. Let's go with on the MN Badger's got it. Alchemist has got it. Sean's got it. All right, everybody go ahead and type it in the chat, however you want to do it. Let's go ahead and start putting in the grid. Oh, sorry. I am leaned in. What do you mean? Dan's favorite is a hidden inside Badu album is Duel. So nice Erica Badu reference. All right. Some balls hit high, they could take a run. Some balls hit high, they could take a run. Lean in is what we tell Dan when he... I was going to say, I have no idea what that word is that you just used. Miss is a hidden. Okay. All right. Some balls hit high, they could take a run. So, I mean, they is a plural noun, which suggests that it's going to go with the balls. I don't know if hit high is part of the definition of the fodder here. Could take a run. They could take a run. Something feels off about the wordplay on this. Like, I want take to be an indicator here, but it doesn't have the right tense for it. Run could be just R. A run could be AR. Some balls. Marbles. I mean, fly balls is the only thing I can think. Homers is another one. Some balls hit high. There's lobs, I think. There's like terms in tennis in addition to lob for like there's like can opener. Hologro has got it. Hologro, what do you have for the first letter for this one? I feel like that's what's gonna break it open for me. And where are we on the list? I don't even know where 17 is. I think I made a mistake somewhere. S. Starts with S. Akila's got this one. Soars. I do want it to contain AR. They could. I am just not getting this. I also don't know where this is in the grid. I see where it is in the grid. I, for some reason, put 6 there. It's supposed to be 17. All right. Some balls hit high. They could take a run. Hologram, what do you have for the next letter? Spares, sparks, K. Sklars, Skyers, Skyers. Is a Skyer, could also be skiers. Because they could take a run. And a skier is a ball hit high in the air. So skiers is a double definition here. Some balls hit high and then they could take a run. We're looking for the I spelling of it to make it work. Thank you for the help there, Hologram. It's a cricket term in this case, not baseball. And of course, you know, it's not a listener if you don't have some sort of reference to cricket or Scotland. And really, you need both. Nomarch's counterpart in Persia pressed a prince to guard Romeo. Nomarch's counterpart in Persia. So I don't know what Nomarch is. I'm going to expose my ignorance here, so I'm going to look this up. A Nomarch is a provincial governor in ancient Egypt. So I think we want a provincial governor in ancient Persia, which is probably going to end with ARP. A satrap. I've heard that term before. Good morning, Stephen Starr. So satrap. Let me just figure out how this works. Pressed would be sat. A prince is AP. To guard Romeo is an R. And you have satrap. Obsolete function is to spread deuterium. Deuterium. Sorry, not deuterium. Deuterium. So deuterium, if I remember correctly, is like O2 or something like that. Obsolete functions are going to be our definition. Obsolete just means that it's obsolete. Function is our definition. Is to spread. What is deuterium? I'm being corrected in the chat, so I should look it up. That's good. I've typed in sutrium. Deuterium is heavy hydrogen, an isotope of hydrogen of double mass. So deuterium is just D. So I mean that would make sense for D then to be the last letter of this. And so we're probably just looking for to spread. I mean it could be that it's is to spread. So we're actually taking the letters of is to, and we're just looking for an anagram of that, like stoid or something like that. Let's see. Nothing really coming to that. So it's not that. To spread. Splay. All right. All I really know is that it's definitely going to be D at the end of it, and that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and tackle the down clues. We don't have many of these, but we do have a lot of crossings now, so that'll help. Musicians playing Rod's hit with piano on side of stage. All right. So piano is just P. Side of stage is S. Maybe. We're looking for 13 letters total. And what I really want is Rod's hit to be the first 7 letters, just anagrammed. Thank you for the follow, Nerdly Wisdom. And then we're going, so it's going to be Rod's hit anagrammed plus P. But then on side of stage, I mean, that wouldn't give us enough letters to continue, make it all 13. So I feel like maybe on side of stage, we're looking for something else here. We're looking for, like, I mean, a side of a stage is a wing. That's the only term I know for it. But there could be some other term here. Ditherist. Trying to figure out the anagram of the first 7 letters. And of course, it could be that we're looking for Rod's hit plus piano, and that would actually give us all 12 letters. I actually really like that. I think that's exactly it. We've got a bit of a misdirect there with piano sometimes usually being used as P, but I think here it's actually part of the anagram fodder. It could also be that it's H is hit, or hit is H, and we're actually including on in this whole thing. And side of stage is just going to give us that last S. I say all of this, but I really should be able to figure out what the anagram here is without looking it up. Unless it's like some obscure instrument. It's probably going to end IST. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to use this little space right here. Let's assume that it is Rod's hit piano. That's an unfortunate combination of letters. And I'm going to take out the ists at the end. So it's going to end with ists. We know that the O is the 5th letter. That does not look like a word. I'm going to go ahead and just do the search. The coffee is not doing its goal today. Radiophonist. A radiophone is an instrument for producing sound by radiant energy. That is not something I've ever heard of. I should have been able to figure out the phone, though. Like, the phone part of it made sense. Like, phonist makes sense. Like, saxophonist and so on. Which leaves the leftover letters to be radio. And so maybe we could have figured it out that way. It is an odd word, but it does work. And the listener is all about unusual vocabulary. So that, to me, that works perfectly fine. I like that deceptive use of piano there. That was a really good trick. Enthralled by TV replays, novelist abridged Stormy Lines. All right, Stormy Lines. I kind of want Stormy Lines to be the definition here. Like, the idea is that these are isotherms or isobars, but I don't think that that's going to work. The wordplay for this suggests that it's going to be a word for TV replays, like reruns. And we're going to put in inside a novelist, a specific novelist, but we're going to take off that last letter. If it were, say, reruns, then we would be looking for a 4-letter novelist minus that last letter to give us an extra 3 letters. The R is in a really weird place for this to be reruns, though, because it doesn't really work. Like, there's no way to get the start in the front of that, so the R here would have to be part of the novelist. And I don't know if that really works. Also, I don't like the idea that it's going to start R. The more I think about that is, the more I realize that that's not going to be it. Because this word is not going to start with an R. You're not going to have that first one across be RR. We're not pirates here. So TV... I don't even know if they use that. I do like the idea of airing. So when you show something on TV, you're airing it, right? And when you are when air is a weather term, and that would apply with stormy lines. So air fronts, maybe, is there some way that we can get air front? Hey Nerdly, yeah, the listener does follow normal cryptic clues. What definition on one side, wordplay on the other, no extraneous connectors in between. They're pretty precise with their definitions, and they use chambers as the primary resource. Uh, they often have a fair amount of obscure vocabulary, Scottish terms, cricket terms, and just a lot of very difficult both vocabulary in the fodder and in the final answer. Good morning, Jangler. That's all right. So let's say it is air at the start of it. I don't want to go to chambers this early. I do think storylines is our definition here. I'm just not coming up with what the answer is. I like air as the first three letters, though. I mean, that looks beautiful for the crossings. And the O in front, like if it's air fronts, I mean, that's great. Air Bronte, maybe? Maybe Bronte is the novelist. So if airs is just simply let's say TV replays here as airs. It's just airs, flat out. We'd be looking for a six-letter novelist with the second letter R. Bronte works, but I can't imagine air Bronte. Well, Brontosaurus is thunder lizard, right? So Bronte might actually be perfectly valid here. Air Bronte is not a word. You will all be very happy to know air Bronte is not a word. I am going ahead. I mean, I am looking at the what we have in here, and I'm not seeing anything that might. Yeah, I had me believing too. I had me believing that I was actually like spot on with that, given the Brontosaurus thing. That I lied to myself. That's the worst lie. All right, three across or three down. Thank you for the subscription, Nerdly Wisdom. Thank you so much. Speedy Coda leads to extra tuition, training in performing arts. Speedy Coda leads to extra tuition, training in performing arts. I want this to be ETT. I think stretta, which I don't know of as a word, but I think the wordplay gives us stretta. Leads to extra tuition training is the ETT. In performing, performing is our anagram indicator, and arts is our fodder, and that would give us stretta. And stretta is a coda in quicker time. There we go. All right, I'm actually pretty happy with that I'm getting that. There are a lot of cases. Mark Halpin is a friend of mine who has pointed out that there are a lot of times when you're doing the listener and like the wordplay is giving you a word that you've never heard of before, but you're pretty confident that you're right because the wordplay is so clearly leading to it, and that's what a good listener clue should be. Sources of arrowroot and 60% of spice supply across area. Sources of arrowroot, I feel like might be our definition. I mean, sources sounds like it's much like the leads. It's meant to be like the first few letters, but I rather sources of arrowroot be a definition, except that and would be then extraneous. 60% of spice would be just SPI. Supply across area. Now, supply is one of those fun words that can actually be um, supply instead. So let's say it's SPI anagrammed across area means that we may be putting it after the A. So I think what we're looking for here is apis. And I'm just going to check that. I mean, anagram of apis is not it, which is unfortunate. Okay, it is pias, which I'm going to show in the fun camera there. And I'm sorry if the glare is a bit much, but pia is a source of arrowroot. I have some arrowroot, and I think I've used it once. My pantry would look like a godsend to anyone who is actually doing real cooking, just simply because I have so many things that are just like those things that you never think like to have on hand that you need for like some unusual recipe. Like I've got red wine vinegar, some arrowroot, some all sorts of stuff. Star anise. Let's see, 5 down, which is going to be all the way over here. Aromatic odors absent in many a dressing. Aromatic odor, I think, is our definition. Absent can just be A. In many a dressing. Is a little unusual. And I'm not... Like, I want this to be fragrance and mine is rag, just because I've used that before. I should probably do that at some point. I actually have some spices that go back to the 1990s. But I feel like spices are one of those things that just don't go bad. Like, they just become less flavorful, but they don't go bad. Per se. Some do. All right. Aromatic odors. That actually could be along those lines. Like, maybe the aromatic odor is our longer word, and then we're saying absent in. So we're taking in away from aromatic odor, and we're left with a word that means many a dressing. That having been said, I'm not saying how that actually helps me. All right, so I think I'm going to go on to the next one. All right, 9, which is, where is 9 in this thing? I'm going to pull the original grid back over. Okay, so 9 is here. I've got it mistakenly marked as a 9-letter word, which it is. All right, let's go ahead and select that. 9, G.I. Andre Derain, colored without good, period, ochre. G.I. Andre Derain, colored without good, period, ochre. I have no idea what is going on here with this clue. Usually I have some idea. G.I. Andre Derain just feels like it's a lot of like fodder for an anagram. Let's see if Andre Derain is a real person. So Andre Derain is a painter. So that is true. G.I. is just a soldier, though. I mean, it's a soldier. It's a soldier for us. I don't know if it's a soldier for British people. So I think what we're looking for here is we're looking for a soldier that Andre Derain, like a subject of a Andre Derain painting. So we got Charing Cross Bridge, for example, fishing boats, portrait of Matisse, palace. Nothing really strikes me as... We're looking for a 5-letter word, so we're probably looking for something that is like the name of a person that the person subject painted, but nothing Nothing is popping up. So yeah, it can be gastrointestinal, but I think that that would probably not be the case here. GI is listed just simply as a soldier in the U.S. Army, so it can mean that for this clue. So I think we're looking for, and it's such an unusual phrasing though. Like, why GI? Why? Holy crap! How did I not notice that earlier? So I was wondering why the cluing of this was a little weird. And if you look at the first letters, starting with 7 across, just go like you'll see it. Go across, then down, and then come all the way back up to 6 across. Like that is insane to me. But that is a nice little Easter egg. It's not helpful. It's not helpful at all. It might be. I mean, it might be a missing link sort of thing, because I feel like that's where we're going is missing links. Um, and so, if what links together is just simply the absence of a message, then that's what's there. And the thing is, there's no message here is a paradox. There is a message there. The message there is no message here. So that having been said, I have no idea what what this answer is. I feel like it's going to be Indian red. It's Indian red. Yeah, it's an anagram of G.I. Andre Durain minus G minus era. So you take the era out of Durain, you're left with DIN. You take the G out of I, um, the G out of GI, and you're left with I. Then the anagram of I, Andre, and Din is going to be Indian red, which I know is not a term that we would use these days ourselves. I think the British have a little bit less sensitivity towards stuff like that. Red ochre. For them, formerly imported from the east, so I think they're actually like describing it as a red used in India for them, as opposed to the way that we would refer to as like the old Crayola color, which we would just say we're not going to call it that anymore. But yeah, I think there's like it's one of the things I've been trying to be careful about is trying to not read too much into the way that the British word things. All right. 10. Endless ways to find me in Perth. Endless ways to find me in Perth. So I mean, Vismuth is the author of this, so maybe Vismuth is like something specific in Perth. Perth can be Scotland instead of Australia, and I'm not sure like what the Scottish pronouns are. Three more rows. Got me. Yeah, that's not helping. Endless ways. So we're looking for something that is just basically taking like we're looking for a 5-letter word for ways, I think, taking off the outer letters. Good morning, Rain. And then we're going to come up with a 3-letter word for me in Perth. Kind of want it to be like veins or means or something like that. Um, it's only a 3-letter word. I'm hesitant to ask for it. I'm looking at the wrong clue. I'm looking all the way over where I've got the wrong number of letters indicated. But I should be looking over here, and I was looking over here. So I want to say it's going to be Ain, A-N-E, because that's going to be lanes endlessly. Ain is one in Scotland. So I think that that is it. Is that what you had, Rain? All right, excellent. Hashed up Easter Yarg overlooking variety of pasta for cheese. Um, I want this to be Gruyere because it's Gruyere. This is a clue type that I've not seen in ages, and it makes me happy to see it again. So the listener is, and I think this is the listener's doing. The listener has the anagram minus anagram uh, fodder, which seems like it'd be an incredibly unfair way to do, but it's great because you get two different anagram indicators. Uh, it's always clued pretty fairly and pretty easily. So in this case, we're taking up Easter Yarg. That's our anagram fodder. Variety of pasta means that we're taking an anagram of pasta away from up Easter Yarg, and we're going to be left over with the letters for Gruyere, which is a type of cheese. Big fan of that type of clue. Shouldn't be used that often. Like if there's more than one in a puzzle, you're overdoing it. But I like that type of clue. 14. Evil spirit of Bill found in young child's hospice in Izmir. Evil spirit of Bill. So Bill's probably Shakespeare. So we're looking for evil spirit that like how Shakespeare would reference that spirit. In young child. So we're probably looking at taught for young child because it ends with a T, and then hospice in Izmir is most likely our definition. I think Izmir is in Turkey. Is that correct? Izmir is in Turkey. So we're looking for a Turkish hospice as our definition. So I'm going to try. Crossword clue Turkish hospice would be Imaret. That's interesting. Imaret was the word that came to mind, but young child doesn't seem to work with Imaret. So what am I missing something? Is it Imaret and I'm just not seeing the how it works? I mean, mare could be evil spirit, right? Let's check mare. Yeah, mare is actually a folkloric evil spirit that terrifies or suffocates the sleeping person. Shakespeare. So then it would have to be young child, which is not a definition I've ever heard of it. Except in this case, yeah, the first one has young child included in the definition. There's the glare. Sorry about that. But I'm not entirely. I don't know. That leaves me a little. Unimpressed. Sorry, Vismet. I've been enjoying the puzzle so far. So far, we've got a good puzzle going. Rages bottled up by wiser inmate. Rages. I want this to be Ayers. Yeah, because it's a hidden backwards. It's a hidden backwards. Inside wiser inmate is Ayers, but it's in reverse. And Ayers is going to go where? 15. It's going to go here. All right, so we got a lot of letters in this grid. Yeah, I was a little worried when we didn't get the first two, but this is pretty good. So these next group of clues are going to be linked. They're going to be one after the other. We don't know which comes first. I'm assuming that it's the 4, then the 5. However, each is missing something that links them together in their wordplay. So that is going to be something that is that's going to mess us up. We also don't know where they go in the grid. So we know, for example, this is going to be 4 and 5 for the length, but we've got a lot of open spaces here, so it could go anywhere. So we'll do a pass through this first, try to see how we do. Actually, we might. Sorry, just. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and put in 6 because I just figured out 6. 6 is Dorado. Dorado, also known as dolphin fish or mahi mahi, I believe. And you're going to put R and A inside dodo. So I had it completely backwards. No wonder I wasn't finding it. So I just wanted to get that thrown in, and now we're going to go back and do this. All right. Mosque officer at first is mortified after barrow boy regularly served up alcohol. All right, so regularly usually means that we're taking every few letters. And then served up means I feel like that's going to reverse it. So if I take every other letter of barrow boy, right, we're going to get broby, which I can't imagine that that is a word. We're gonna just do a quick search for broby. Yeah, broby's not in the dictionary. Mosque officer at first is mortified after barrow. Trying to find the split in here. So I kind of want it to be for the first one. I Mosque officer, I want to be imam, and I feel like it's almost. We do know that the wordplay is missing something. So at first is mortified after would suggest that we what we need is something that starts with the letter M. Don't look ahead to the later clues. So imam is definitely going to be the first one. And then we're missing something that starts with an M. So in that case, barrow boy, regularly served, we might be looking at more than every other letter. We might be looking at every third letter. But it's difficult without that other word. Where can imam go in the grid? Imam doesn't have that many places where it can go, but there's still, I think, a couple fours that were not. Actually, do we have how many fours do we have left open? We have 2, I think. We have 2 that are completely open, but imam could also go in that row that has dual in it. So never mind. All right, so that covers one half of the clue. Let's go to the next one. Cut and display and store essay plant arranged best to frame centerpiece of wild perennial. So centerpiece of wild is IL. And I think perennial here is going to be our definition. Arranged best, I kind of want that to be like we're going to anagram best and put that around the IL. But then we'd need something sort of in that middle there, and that might be the missing part. I like Astilba for it because I see where it would go in the grid. And Astilba is a perennial. There we go. So it's going to be something that starts with an A. And one of the 2 words is Astilba, and that's going to go here. And I think I mentioned ISO as a possible thing here, and that's definitely going to be what's going on, is ISO something. So put Astilba here. We still have a 9-letter word for cut, display, and store. Essay, plant, blah. Which suggests that for each of these, like if it is a missing word in the middle, then our definitions are going to be always be at the front and the end. So cut here is going to be our 9, which I think right now there's 2 places where we could have a 9. one of which we've got a fair amount of letters of, and the other we have no letters of. Cut, display, and store. SA plant. I kind of want cut, display, and store to be like the definition here. Like there's like that. All of that is a definition, and then SA plant, and then something else is going to be our fodder wordplay. But I'm not seeing what it's going to be. Second company base fixer to scold 6-footer. 6-footer is probably Etten because they love the word Etten in these listener crosswords. Oh, is that what you mean? Like you just it was what was covered? I'm sorry. Then I got a little snippy there. I'm sorry. So second company base fixer to scold 6-footer. I kind of want. I don't know what's going on here with this one. I feel like the wordplay does like the wordplay thing, not necessarily in the middle, right? Like maybe my mistake here is that we are missing a word that's supposed to go after, but maybe that word doesn't necessarily go at the beginning of this clue. It goes like somewhere in between barrow and boy. So if that's the case, then maybe the definition doesn't necessarily have to be at the beginning and end. Etten is possible, but I think if Etten is in the grid, then Imam is definitely here because Etten would have to be one of these two, and that clashes with Imam. I also don't know um, what it would be. Often base can be E. So second is S, company is CO, base is E, which is all very nice and well for a charade, but we're missing essentially a 3-letter thing in the middle. And then fixer would have to be our definition. SCO. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that really strikes me as it would go along with the idea of a fixer. So yeah, none of that works. So, all right, all right. I'm nowhere on this one. Force up rand to match yen. Make money. So yen make money feels like it's meant to be yearn, and we're missing something that clues the letter Y, like yellow. Like maybe where we've got our colors going on here. Force up rand to match. I want that to be agree. Like maybe eager. Eager, and then we force up. No, that doesn't work because then the E's in the wrong place. Ragey? I mean, could ragey be something? Or argy? A ragey is a millet. Much grown in India. So I think it's agree and yearn. But then something is missing here where it has to both clue the letter Y and it has to clue Raji. Good morning, Manic Volcanic. Rain, do you agree with this so far? It would be funny if, by the way, if isobront was a word, because I had theory that I oh my friggin' lord. Okay, first word is wrong. Okay, I had convinced myself that it was going to include Bront because Bront is also Brontosaurus is thunder lizard, and stormy lines made sense. And I'm sorry to go back to like a clue out of nowhere, but that was just bugging me with the ISO. Just clearly looking at that, and of course lines make sense. Like ISO is usually used in weather maps like isobar and isotherm. So of course stormy lines would be isobronts. I don't know how the ISOs works. I looked up airbront earlier, which of course is not a word because it's just not a word. Um, but yeah, that just I feel really good for getting Bront in there. All right, so first word is wrong. Urine is definitely correct, and I want it to be yellow. I want yellow to be connecting it because I do like the way that this is starting off looking like many. It'd be funny if this was like the coat of many colors puzzle, but I don't think that would match the curve thing going on. Force up Rand to match. I can't get agree out of my head. Rain, what do you have for the first letter of the first answer? M. As soon as we finish this, I'll ask you. Force. So this one we definitely have the wordplay word not connecting them because yen is our definition. Force up Rand. I mean, it suggests that R is going to move. Um, Rain, is the definition first or second? I'm also trying to see where it might go. I see where urine might go. And I'm guessing that the merit is, or the M word is going to go directly below it. But we have a couple open fives, so getting a seven across would probably help there. Definition is not force. I just meant first or last, so obviously that might, leave out that it might still be force up, but I mean match feels like it's a good definition. If we have something that's cluing the letter Y in the second one, it's probably cluing Y. Maybe Mary. Yeah, force is Ram, up is Mar, Rand is R, and then whatever the Y is, it's going to be the Y here as well. So Mary. All right, that's good. And then whatever we're looking for is going to start with a Y. Instead of doing the letters in, I'm just going to do them here. And it looks like so far all we really know is that it's the first letter. So what we needed here was an A. What we needed here was an M. What we need here is a Y. So far we've just got those first letters cluing. So it might not be that we need anything other than the letter. So it just might be the M A Y. But I'll leave it like that for now. And that one, I feel like we can go ahead and mark as solved. Thank you for the help there, Rain. All right. York dress up a copper before topless examination in the mirror of the chap. It's a lovely combination of things. 8, 5. I'm trying to see how many 8s we have. I don't think that we have that many. In terms of like ones where we don't know where they go. Yeah, we've just got the 2. That's 1 here and 1 here. So topless examination, I feel like, is going to be est, right? And then in the mirror would be TSC. That having been said, I don't think any of that works. York dress up a copper I kind of want York to be our definition here. But I'm looking at the 8-letter entry that we have in the grid, and it just does not look friendly for what we have. So copper, I think, can be P or C or CU. So robe could be dress, right? So we could be looking at EBON. Then A, then CU, Ebonacu, Ebonic. I mean, first of all, I don't even know if that's like the start, if that's a word. Yeah, nothing suggests that that is. Actually, it would be Eboracu. Yeah, that's not it. I like the idea that it's going to be that top 8 with ACU. And then the rest of it's going to be like topless examination in the mirror of the chap. So of the chap might be our definition. Problem is, I still don't like test for examination just because that's going to give us TSE. But maybe it's something else. Like if it's a like trial would give us LAIR. We still have a number of 5s that are completely empty. And I'm looking at the 5s in the grid. I don't think I'm gonna get this one. I think I know where the split is, but I don't think I'm gonna get it. All right, let's see. Hologro's got half, maybe. Hologro, do you have the first half or the second half? Go back up to that. First, okay. Am I correct that the split is between before and topless? Is copper CU? That's probably the big thing that I'm getting wrong here. Oh, no. What on earth is this? I keep thinking it's going to be that top one because it's already got the U in the right place. Dress up a copper. I don't like doing it this way because this feels like cheating. This feels like cheating, and I'm a great big cheat. All right, so nothing's going to work if CU is if it's ACU there. Or if it's just simply like if it's CU, even ignoring the A. So it's not an English word technically. Oh, that's good. That's awesome. Is it the upper eight, the one that has BO and then the U later on? All right, maybe if I go to one look, that might help. I should probably be doing this part off my phone because my phone's interface is not really conducive to. All right. It, what? I found it. It's the old word for York. I mean, I'm glad that I got at least like figured out that it was rowed backwards. Technically, it's Latin. It's good to know. And so then we're missing an M. I kind of want of the chap to be macho or manly, which would start with an M. So sorry, we are going to try to see if we can finish this one. Topless examination in the mirror of the chap. I think we're looking for a 5-letter word for examination. Like probe, maybe. Topless means get rid of the P. And reversing it's going to be Ebor. So obviously I'm on the right track there. And then we're missing an M. And still not seeing it. Okay. Now we'll go down to the next one. Thank you for the help there, Hologro. Little tots twirling urinal tap defiantly. That is a lovely clue. All right. Twirling here seems like it's going to be an anagram of urinal plus our missing letter. And then tap defiantly is probably going to be our 5. Again, also missing the letter. And our definition then for the 7 is going to be little tots. So urinal plus a letter. And I see where I think it's going to go. I think it's going to go over here. Little tots. I kind of want it to end with an A. Good morning, Glass Case MD. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for 27 months. Holy cow, that is a long time. That's over 2 years. That's like an insane amount of subscription. Thank you so much. I'm hoping I'm providing a worthwhile experience. All right, so LUN plus another letter and then RIA. Lungria. Ulnaria. Lunaria. Congratulations on finishing Puzzle Boat 9. I'm still in the process of writing the solutions. I've made the solutions available for puzzles that have them, which is, I know, kind of a half-assed way to do it. But it's taking a while to get through the solutions. I'm never doing a 200 puzzle hunt again. That was way too big. I feel like it was okay for most people because they got to experience it like half at a time. But just in terms of how much it involved, like it never again. So Ulnaria is not it. I feel like it's got to be a vowel. I feel like because the first letters have to spell something, I feel like it's got to be a vowel. Yeah, there was a lot of hunt in that hunt. Um, it did the split format. I will say, it got me. It allowed me to do something I've never done before, and I'm really happy that I did it. And I don't think I'll ever do it again. But I'm really happy that I was able to do something where people got to submit things to be part of the hunt, the second part of the hunt. Um, like that, I think really worked out well. And there were so many great submissions, including the one that was a pastiche of an Into the Woods song, which "Moment in the Woods" is just amazing. It is the theme song to the Mystery Hunt. No ifs, ands, or buts. All right, that having been said, I am not coming up with this. I feel like it's got to be an anagram of urinal plus a letter. Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm hoping people were pleasantly surprised when they got to see themselves in there. All right, let's try the next one. Setter after books of the listener apparently in love, in addition to love letter from Will. Setter after books of the listener. So I feel like setter is I, and then of the book after books could be NT or OT. Yeah, it's odic. Of the listener is of the ear essentially. So we're missing a C. Apparently, in addition to love letter from Will, is going to be a 5. Will here is Shakespeare, obviously. The one that cracked me up the most is that we had a team whose team name is like something like 115 characters or something like that. It's just ridiculously long. And one of the submissions was something you did based on your team name. And I think that they sort of just like did it not thinking that they would be used, but it was like, all right, I have a great opportunity to use that in the puzzle because that's clearly going to indicate it's the team with the really long ass name. Um, and I'm sorry if any of this is spoilers, by the way. For those of you who've not done Puzzle Boat 9, what are you doing here? Go do Puzzle Boat 9. Um, but it was a lot of fun to incorporate that. No, not a red herring. It is a real team name. It's not the entire text of Atlas Shrugged, fortunately. Yeah, it's fun watching Dan solve Puzzle Boat. Also Mendezi, who is solving Puzzle Boat on their own as well. Both at different points right now. They're both on Puzzle Boat 8, with Mendezi almost finished and Dan sort of past the first gate, as it were. So, all right. Apparently, in addition to love letter from Will, so apparently could be Claire, Claro. In addition to love, so maybe maybe it's like love is O. We still need a C, and then apparently is like a 3-letter word, and those put together are going to give us the letter from Will. That having been said, I'm just not seeing it. Animator modeled Lady Love towering over short chair in confusion. All right, and then we got a 9 and then an 8, 3 words, and we know where that 8 is going now. I kind of want it to be all at sea. Yeah. So seat is chair. Short means that we're just going to be SEA. Towering would be tall. Over means we're going to reverse it. That's going to give us LLAT. And then we're missing an A. And that's going to go here. Animator modeled Lady Love, and then we're missing an A. So we're looking for a 9, one of the 9s. And I kind of want to say, yeah, it's Enamorita. It's an anagram of animator without the A. And that is our second clue where we got both parts. Is it Enamorata? Yeah, that's right. There's only one I in animator. So thank you, Jangler. My battery power is at 15%. All right. Nancy's Soul Energy, Prince, third from Sheila E, covered by complimentary Booker. So very rock and roll clue here. Nancy's Soul, I think, is AME. Then Energy would be E, and Prince would be Amir. So I think the first one here is Amir, and we're missing the letter R. Third from Sheila is E. E, covered by complimentary, could be free. I don't know. That doesn't feel right. I mean, I kind of want it to be referee. Can a booker be a referee? We're going to find out. Referee, person willing to provide a testimonial. Let's try booker. Booking someone is giving them a yellow or red card. All right, thank you, Arch Davidson. Thank you, Hologro. So it's going to be referee. And we'll go ahead and put those in. And we'll put the R key on my keyboard has stopped working consistently. So that's fun. So where can Amir go? Amir's going to go here. I think that's pretty clear. And then I think referee is going to go here. And then I think we're going to be able to put in Mary and Imam. All right. Fast starts to diet dirt. I just said the word that I think it's going to be. So fast starts to Derby and Epson can succeed with no weight. So the first one is diet. Fast is a diet. Starts to Derby and Epson is DIE. We're missing the T. Can succeed with no weight. Can succeed with no weight. Obviously, it's going to go where the 3 is, because we've only got 1 3 in this entire thing. Manic and Rain both have the second half, apparently. Kind of want it to be win, but it's not going to be that. First of all, we need a T in the final answer. I feel like it's going to be tin. Yeah, succeed is win. With no weight, weight here is just W. So that's going to leave IN. And then our answer is win. Or tin. We do not know where diet goes, but I think I see exactly where it's going to go. It's going to go here. So those are now in. I'm going to go ahead and if we have both entries in the grid, I'm going to go ahead and mark them as in the grid. Mary and Yearn. We don't have Yearn in the grid, and I really want to put it here, but I feel like that would be a little too rash. So we're going to keep that like that for now. All right. Sink a vast amount in Pakistan Native American festival to pick race. Sink a vast amount in Pakistan Native American festival to pick race. No idea on this one. like not a clue. I kind of want I want the split to between Native and American. I kind of want it to be um, like maybe there's a word for Pakistan native, and we're going to put a vast amount inside it, and then that's going to give us our word for sink. Does that make sense? Pakistan native. Couple possibilities here, none of which really strike me as good. um, yeah, I don't know. I kind of want it to be like wash tub or something like that, but I don't think that that would work because I don't know what the vast amount would be. We'd also still need like an extra letter to come in somewhere. American festival to pick race, and I'm not seeing that. Like party dash. Nope. Okay. Production of smash Chinese drink made artificial and neutral when brewed across islands. And the latter part is the 13 letter entry. So islands is probably our entry here. Um, Actually, made artificial feels like it's going to be. That feels like it's going to be our definition. And it's going to end with lies. Which would mean that production of smashed Chinese drink is our start. And that's going to be our 6. Production of smash feels to me like it's going to be an anagram of smash plus one extra letter, probably a vowel of some sort. And then that is our Chinese drink. So, like, not really sure what that might be. Kind of want that to be an O. That is not working. That is not working. So shamas is an Indian. Oh, those are Indian songbirds. That's not going to be it. Samshu. Samshu is a Chinese alcoholic drink made from fermented rice. So not a O, but a U. And it's spelled like that. And part of the problem here is that I can't get that in without knocking out the second part of the clue. So I'm going to put that over there. Samshu, let's see, could go where? Could go here. Do we have any other places for a 6 that we've not yet put in? I don't think so. I think that's actually where it has to go. So Samshu, it's up here. Is that right? And then this is going to be something lises. You got second half, okay. So if the U is extra, right? Un unnaturalizes. Does that yeah, that works? Unnaturalized. Okay, so then that is going to be made artificial and neutral when brewed. So I think it's not just neutral, but it's and neutral. So we have and neutral covering everything except for the IS and islands here. Island can be represented by I, so I's is islands. Now I can put this back over here because we're going to mark it as in the grid. And we'll go ahead and mark both of those solved. All right, cute nose giving blast of air in Edinburgh. Greats last couple of burps following Vismut's special. That's a lovely clue. Cute nose giving blast of air in Edinburgh Greats. So I kind of want the split to be between Edinburgh and Greats for the two clues. Greats I want to be rasps, except I don't think that's going to be it because I think I see where it's going to go. And so last couple of burps is PS, following Vismut. Vismut is I, because that's the person who wrote the puzzle. Special is S. So it's going to be that risps up there at the top. I'm just going to check to see if that can be great. That is great. It's Scottish for greats. All right. And much the same way, we can't really put it in here. Mary MacArthur. I think that's who is being referenced here, is Mary MacArthur. I don't know who that is, but we'll find out soon. All right, so Risps is in the grid. Cute nose giving blast of air in Edinburgh, and we're missing the R. So cute. I mean, I kind of want it to be like tenor, just like it's inside cute nose. I don't know where that would go. Or maybe Rootin. It'd be funny if it were Rootin. I'm going to go with Rootin. Let's look up Rootin. R-U-T-E-N. Not in the puzzle. Not in it. So that's unfortunate. Cute nose. It could be that cute nose is C. And then we need some three-letter word for giving. And then that whole thing is going to give us the blast of air in Edinburgh. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to go ahead and put... I kind of wish there was a way I wouldn't... Well, we don't really need to worry about that because we've already solved the latter half of the clue. So there we go, risps. Okay. So let's find out about Mary MacArthur because I think that we need to know who she is. And then that will help us figure out the rest of the clue. All right. Scottish suffragist and a leading trades unionist. She was the General Secretary of the Women's Trade Union League and was involved in the formation of the National Federation of Women's Workers and the National Anti-Sweating League. She led a women of... in 1910, MacArthur led the women chainmakers of Cradley Heath to victory in their fight for a minimum wage and led a strike to force employees to implement the rights. So chainmakers would really go along well with the idea of linking here. So that's clearly what we are looking for here. And presumably we'll highlight some things in the grid. But first, let's go ahead and finish these clues. All right. The winds acting contrarily. Why am I not clicking on the puzzle? Come on. You can do it. What's going on? Excel's gone crazy. Actually, not crazy. It's just not responding. Good. Awesome. Yay. I get so frustrated when it does. Lately it's been doing this every now and again, like it'll just get completely screwed up. And that does kind of take the wind out of my sails. Sorry, folks. This is just going to take a moment. So I think that last one is going to be stead. That last thing going across, obsolete function. Stead is, yeah, obsolete form of stead, which is function. We'll get that into the grid shortly. Why is this not working? I would love to be able to put words in the grid, but my Excel is not working. We're going to take a quick moment here and just, I think, close that. And then hopefully, yeah, there we go. Not sure what happened there. All right, so stead is going to be that. There's only one place to put yearn. Yearn could go here or here. So we still have two places. Let's see. The wind's acting contrarily to expose openings to old Edinburgh. Maybe EO is at the start of this. Like, I still don't understand how this one works. And then the other one that we actually know the place of is here. It's aromatic odor absent in many a dressing. Many a dressing could be sauce, but I don't see how that would work. Aromatic odor, starting with S, ending with E. No clue. Let's go back through the clues and see what we can get. We know Barrow Boy regularly served up alcohol. We're missing the letter M. I'm wondering if Maura is an alcohol. Because that would work with the even letters of Barrow Boy. Maura is an alcohol distilled from the flowers of the Maura tree. So that would work. And I think that could go here or here. Probably here. I like it down there better. But we'll go ahead and put Maura up here. Let's see. Yeah, Odic has been placed already. We don't have the other entry for this one. That's why it's not highlighted. Cut, display, and store SA plant is going to go here because that's the only other 9 that we have left open. I'm guessing that plant is probably. I'm guessing that this is our plant. That's all right. SA could be part of the fodder here. It might not be. Like, I like the idea that this might end with SA. Cut, display. So cut here might be. We're going to take the last letter off display. I feel like I don't have enough of this one to really nail it down. Second company base fixer to scold fix 6-footer. So we now know that this is an R going in here as well. 6-footer would be an insect. So maybe that's what we're looking for, is a 4-letter insect. Or we're looking for a 3-letter insect like ant, and it's actually rant. Let's check if rant can be scold. Yeah, rant can be scold with great anger. So that's what that is. That's rant. Second company base fixer. Um, Maybe rectify? No, that wouldn't work. Screwer. It's gonna go. It's gonna go in that line that has skiers in it. Second, crew. E. So screwer. Yeah. And we can mark that one solved. And it's going to go here, which is going to put Maura in here. And we still need rant in there, otherwise we could mark that's fully in. But we can mark Imam and Maura is in the grid. I still want Yearn to be up here because that's going to give us rant going across. Rant could go down. That's the only reason I'm not putting it in yet. Let's see. So before topless examination, in. Wait. So I wasn't sure if before is part of the first or the second clue. It's a good question. And we still don't know where it's going to go in the grid. Little. Okay, so this has got to be this one. This is urinal plus one other letter. The way everything else has worked is that the we just can put in the grid. The anagram is going to be all together. So what is this word? There is no such word according to that. So one look. Chambers does not have it. This is probably a Latin thing again. All right, no, it does not recognize that at all. Ulnaria is recognized. Yeah, reference both as bones. Which I don't quite get, like little tots. I guess tot can be a bone. I guess that's what they're going for there. And I kept thinking that was going to be a child, but maybe not. Yeah, I think so, Aquila. Oh no, we don't have that solved. I can't put that in yet. All right, so ulnaria, and technically that would be an anagram of urinal followed by the A as opposed to preceded by the A. All right, tap defiantly. So probably this one up here. I'm guessing that we're looking for a four-letter word for tap or defiantly, and then that's going to be the five-letter word that is the other. And I don't quite know enough to get that one. Let's see. Apparently, in addition to love letter from Will, is going to have a C in it. Looking at what we've got left. What is this? What is this 5 over here? This 5 has to be somewhere. I wonder if this is tweer. Because Q can be twee. Tweer is... a nozzle for a blast of air. Nose giving blast of air in Edinburgh is in fact a tweer. And so twee plus R is going to give us the answer there. So this we can fully mark as solved. Okay, so we also have this 7 up here. Um, this 7 is known. This is going to be the win clue. This 7 has to be the one over here. So this is going to be potace or something like that. So I'm just going to quickly check to see what words match that. Because I'm guessing that we're going to have a word that means sink coming out of it. Plus, what's the extra letter? H. So potluck? Potluck. That's not what I found. I'm guessing what that word might be. Sink a vast amount in Pakistan. Yeah, I'm just not seeing that. Potluck is in fact it. It is a Native American winter festival. Okay. So it's very much like potluck. Sink a vast amount in Pakistan. And I do not see how that one works. I've not heard of potlatch. Potlatch? I've heard of potluck, but not potlatch. All right. And then, so to pick race, um, so rant is going to be a 4-letter word that goes somewhere in here. So it's going to be here. I want it to be hopped. Want pick to be opt. Unfortunately, that's not it. Um, I mean, unless it's one of those words that. Not hoppy. Hopped. Yeah, it's not that. I'm just not seeing this one. All right, so screwer and rant we don't have in. Marry and yearn we have marry in, but we don't have yearn in. I really do want yearn to go down. Okay, so let's say that this is here, and then this is an A. Expose could be a word that starts with N, and in fact, what we're looking for is AEO something. And I feel like that's going to be Aeolian. Yeah, Aeolian. It's the wind. When you really need a word that starts with 3 different vowels. And nail is expose. All right. Still, I don't have this one. But I do think that it's still going to have an A in somewhere in here. Let's see what we've got left for the 5-letter words. We know that we're going to have an O somewhere in here for the letter for will. Yearn could still be this. It's very unlikely. Could still be this. Let's try to see if we can find that flower. I think I'm just going to have to look up what that flower is. I'm going to assume that flower is got R. I'm assuming that urine is going down. So I'm going to assume the 3rd letter of the flower is, in fact, R. Let's see what we can come up with it. We got Aracacia, which is a South American plant. Aracacia. Yeah, it's a ray. It's array and cache. Array and cache both cut short. And then the A, of course, is unclude, but that is going to be that one. And we can go ahead and mark that solved and fully in the grid. Now we can go ahead and put rant and heat, which is the pick one. So that's in the grid. Urn is going to be here. I think that is a given at this point. Still not entirely definite, but I think there's no mistaking that. This is now fully solved and fully in the grid. All right. Odic, we still need the love letter from Will. We still need the tap defiantly. So I want tap defiantly to be this one. And I think that's the A. The first A is going to be what's extra. Tap or defiantly is going to be this. And I'm pretty sure tap is going to be the four-letter word there. And I think I know what it is, but I don't want to say it out loud. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So I'm not going to say it out loud. I'm going to type it in, but we don't need to say it. We don't need to talk about it. All right, so... Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. Yes, a rooster. It would be another way to say it. All right, so this is probably going to be the letter from Will. Or love letter from Will. Apparently, in addition to... So C is going to come from our missing link. And what is that? I kind of want it to be colon. If that is the case, I mean, the other thing that we have is, I guess, maybe molar? Topless examination in the mirror of... Yeah, I think of here is actually on its own as an O. And then oral is so it's oral plus O, but we're minus the first O in oral, and then reversed. Gives us molar. And I'm assuming that's just another word for chap. All right. So we're down to 2 clues. We know where they go. That last one goes. We still have this one. Aromatic odors absent in many a dressing. I do not know what this word is. I really don't. I'm feeling really stupid. Like seckle, just secker. Spice, Spicae, which I guess would be many a dressing would be spice. Maybe I don't really consider it that. And it doesn't work with the idea that it's an aroma. So maybe there's some other word that... Seiche is not it. It's a periodic fluctuation from side to side of the surface of an enclosed or partly enclosed body of water, such as lake, harbor, etc., caused, e.g., by changes in barometric pressure. So I guess many a dressing would be spicae. So dressing is our definition. And I guess aromatic odor would be spice. absent in. So it's sort of a Yoda grammar here. It works, but yeah, it's a little unfriendly. But fine. It's fine. Look, I found a snake. I'm sure that's an accident. Um, okay. Love letter from Will. I guess Copen, open, apparently is open. In addition to love. Apparently, in addition to. So it's apparently C in addition to O. Letter from Will is pen. So Copen. No. It's not that. I mean, it's got to be. I just don't understand the actual thing going on here. All right. So it's worth noting that in all of these, the last letter of one was the first letter of the next. So we could have just simply noticed that a long time ago and didn't because I'm kind of stupid. But Tweer, risps overlap on the R, Samshun, unnaturalized overlap on the U. So it was always the last letter of the first word and the first letter of the second word was missing from the wordplay. So glad I'm catching that now. Let's check the rest of this. Thematic name. Numbered clues are linked in a similar way. Oh my lord, how did I miss that? I missed that about the other clues. The last letter of each clue is the first letter of the next. So we saw that there's no message here, and it kind of seemed weird that it was starting in the across, but it's actually starting at the back of the. It's starting at the end of the first across clue. And so the last letter of each clue is the first letter. That's very sneaky. That's very nicely hidden. After filling the grid, solvers must draw 3 linked closed curves through 30 cells, tracing a memorable action, the participants, and the location. So the clues are linked. That's really nice. So I've closed my browser window. As did I. That is just really clever. So let's pull up this again. This was Cradley Heath is the name of the location. So we want to find Cradley Heath, and I think what we're doing is we're actually drawing chains. Why is this? It's like the second I open a browser window for Wikipedia, Excel just says no. So Cradley Heath is the first. Where is that in the grid? You'd think that, oh, I see it now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to home. Come on, stop screwing with me. What? I think my computer needs a checkup. I do not know what's going on here. I've now set this to blue like a number of times. And I know it seems very arbitrary to set it to blue. Okay. So there's Cradley Heath. I'm going to have to look up Mary McCarthy on my phone because my browser's not working. Let's see. Women chain makers. So we're probably looking for chain makers as another thing. And are we looking for that as the action or participants? So it's participants in action. chain makers. I see chain makers, I think. So let's go with fill, slightly different color here. Women chain makers. And then it's some sort of strike, and that's going to be down here. Kind of wish there was a way to do multicolor here. But we'll do it as gray. And that should be it. Let's see, there were 12 in Cradley Heath. There's 6 in Strike, so that's 18. There's another 16 in Women Chainmakers with 4 that were already covered, so that is 30 cells. And that is it. That is the puzzle. We did it. And it's just about 11 o'clock now, so that just took us 2 hours. And I will say, thank you, Vismut. This helped break the streak. I think that this was very nice. I think that this was, no rage here whatsoever. This gets a solid A+ for me. Like I said, I like anything that has a visual to it, I really enjoy. And this has a really nice visual. I like the connections here. I liked finding out a little bit more about the history. This felt very in the listener wheelhouse without being too listenery. So definitely a really enjoyable puzzle. Nothing too outside the box, which I think is the only real drawback to it. Because sometimes you do want that extra out of the box thing. But the fact that I saw the acrostic and then missed the tail stitch, I think is a little bit embarrassing on my part. It makes me feel like I'm definitely like losing it in terms of puzzle solving. But that is it. We've done it. We have solved the listener. We have a handful of people left. Some people did not want to stick around, I think, for me whining about Excel and my browser not working. Old man can't get computer to work. That's not a news story. Nobody I'm following is currently on Twitch. Tail stitch is just basically it's the ending version of an acrostic. So the last letters of these clues are T, H, E, R, E, S, N, O, M, E, S, S, A, G, E here. That's for the clues. And good morning, Rabbit. There we go. And the cool thing is that's also the first letters of the next clue. Yeah, and it's very sneaky. It's really nicely done. It didn't strike me as too weird. No mark struck me as kind of a weird term. I thought that was a little weird, but it wasn't weird enough that it made me think that's not right. But when we got to G.I. Andre and Durain, that's what kind of told me, okay, something's going on here. There's something a little bit weird here. And I thought this was really nicely done, really nicely hidden. Just the way that this worked and the theme, top notch, just top notch. Folks, thank you all for joining me. I will be back on Wednesday to do more of the Enigma. I will probably be posting this stream on YouTube. I think that this was a very well done stream. Not too many gaps, not too many solving breaks. It's a lengthy stream, but hopefully people will enjoy it. Folks, thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you all next Wednesday.